There are rumors and reports that Will and Jada are getting divorced, but I honestly don't believe them because they come out all the time. This is nothing new. And I think it's just the algorithm is doing what it's doing because recently Jada said this about Will Smith.
So are y'all living together?
It's just this beautiful connection. We will.
Mm-hmm. Look at that.
Not right now.
But you will.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Why do you say that with such
clarity?
Because that's what it's going to be.
That's where it's headed.
Yeah.
And you both are on that page.
Yeah. And, but right now I really do enjoy my space.
Yeah.
I've been living
alone.
I am my mother's only child.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. And so having this time that I've had to myself has been fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Just to get to know me, even to have my house exactly how I want it. I don't have to be like, well, what color do you want this wall? You know what I mean? I can just do it.
You're the chooser.
I'm the chooser.
You're the chooser.
Right.
So when you imagine your life back together, because I'm sure you've seen it, how does that look to you?
We don't know yet.
You'll build that.
We'll build that. And it'll be something new.
I think every summer, all the reports would come out that me and Will were getting a divorce. And Chris he thought that we were getting a divorce. So he called me and he was like, hey, basically he was like, I'd love to take you out. And I was like, what do you mean? He was like, well, aren't you and Will getting a divorce? And I was like, no. I was like, Chris, those are just rumors. He's like, oh my, he was appalled. You know what I mean?
It is not his responsibility to make you happy. He can't. It's impossible. But it took me forever. Hard-headed, stubborn, because that romantic idea. And that's why I talk about checking the boxes. It's like, I did everything I was supposed to do. You get to have your dream. How come I'm not having mine? And that's because Will was doing what he wanted to do.
He was making himself happy.
He was making himself happy.
And he says that to you, doesn't he? He says, when you separate, he says he wants you to go and...
He's like, go make yourself happy.
As a fan of Will Smith, a collaborator and producer who made a record for Joyner Lucas and Will Smith and brought him out of retirement that he absolutely murdered, and it changed my life. I get no joy in talking about this man's marriage or his situation. I don't know him personally. I have not met his family personally, and it's very heartbreaking to see him going through this. And I don't talk about these things to make fun of him or to shame Will, rather to point out the tactics and discrepancies men will face when dealing with a woman who doesn't value them. It doesn't matter if you're Will Smith, an Oscar-winning actor, Steph Curry, a four-time NBA champion and regarded as the greatest shooter in the history of basketball, or even, God forbid, the first black president of the United States, Barack Obama. Some of our women will use public platforms to embarrass, humiliate, disrespect us, and even go as far as to sharing intimate details of our personal relationship with strangers in front of the world and see nothing wrong with it. I should not be able to watch Michelle Obama's podcast and she's talking to me about what temperature Barack likes to keep it in their bedroom. I really shouldn't, just in my personal opinion. And for this reason, that's why I'm happy to see my boy Will out here living his life.
Done with me forever, well I still got the pussy. Now she said I ain't the one, but she still let me hit it. She told me she was done, but she still let me hit it. She said I ain't shit, but she still let me hit it. She called me narcissist, but she still let me hit it. Yeah, she said I'm too cheap, but she still let me hit it. Cause I ain't pay her Uber Eats, but she still let me hit it. Apartment wasn't neat, but she still let me hit it. Ain't put her kids to sleep, but she still let me hit it. I got up in them guts, I was in there for a minute. I'm giving her the business, yeah, I'm doing taxes in it. Her kids terrorizing, but she
Look at my boy over there, remembering what a woman's hair smells like.
Has Jada ever showed as much emotion for Will Smith as she does for Tupac?
My relationship with Pac and trying to figure that out, that was a huge loss in my life. I really did believe that he was going to be here for the long run.
I mean, it was beyond friendship.
for us. The type of relationship we had. You only get that once in a lifetime.
Imagine being in this much pain over a man you wished was still here 30 years after his death, but not even emotionally flinching at leaving the man that picked you back up and gave you the limelight for those 30 years. I mean, just tell me if you read it any differently with just how casual and nonchalant she is here, talking about divorcing Will Smith and still making it all about herself and her feelings.
Everybody's always like, why don't you just get divorced? And it's like, that's like quitting. I don't think there's any person that could embrace the best and the worst of me and be willing to hold space. Would it be easier to go and find somebody else and have a more pleasing, more comfortable relationship? Maybe, but would that get me to the person that I really want to be? I don't think so.
So are y'all living together?
It's just this beautiful connection. We will.
Look at that.
Not right now.
But you will.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But right now, I really do enjoy my space.
Yeah.
Even to have my house exactly how I want it. I don't have to be like, well, what color do you want this wall? You know what I mean? I can just do it.
You're the chooser.
I'm the chooser.
You're the chooser.
Right.
And she's saying this, of course, after having made a mockery of her marriage by cheating on her husband with her son's best friend.
Because everybody knows what the happened. Everybody that really knows I had nothing to do with that. I didn't have any entanglements. For people that don't know, what everybody knows, his wife was her son's friend. Okay?
That's why I say, to be respected among men, you need to be able to say no. But to be respected by a woman, you need to be able to walk away from her. And she needs to know that in the back of her mind. But here's the sad part. Will Smith never knew that he'd always be living under the constant shadow of the one man that Jada could never get over. And that's Tupac.
Were you ever jealous of the love Jada had for Tupac?
Yeah. They grew up together, they loved each other, but they never had that, they never had a sexual relationship, but they had come into that age where now that was a possibility, and then Jada was with me. Pac had a little thing on that, but she just loved him like he was the image of perfection, but she was with the Fresh Prince.
But Tupac wasn't the only rapper from the 90s living rent-free in Will Smith's head, because starting beef with Eminem was the last mistake that Will made in the rap industry. So click the link below to watch that full breakdown and subscribe to Elites Exposed for more.
Would you say she has been instrumental in you and I redefining our relationship?
I would say don't just start filming me without asking me.
Oh my goodness.
If you could film me.
Astaire, come help us again, please. Would you say that she helped us heal the hurts that we caused between one another?
My social media presence is my bread and butter, okay? So you can't just use me for social media and not, don't just start I'm standing in my house.
Is that the love of your life?
Oh, I wouldn't say Pac is the love of my life. And I wouldn't say that I'm the love of his life either, right? I would say that Pac was just a beautiful expression, a beautiful representation of love in my life.
Interesting.
I don't know if there's such thing as a love of your life. I think that's a very romanticized concept, because I think that there are different people that represent different aspects of love.
Yeah.
Love is so vast, right? It's so vast. And so to say that if you want to know the love of my life, it would be the great supreme in myself.
Interesting.
Right? I did not walk in there as his wife, but I knew the instant that I saw what was happening, I was his wife. I'm walking out of here as your wife now.
Wow.
And I'm going to be by your side through this.
And him using that word in yelling back at Chris, wife.
Yeah.
That hit you hard.
Yeah, because I was like, whoa, I haven't heard that out of his mouth in a long time.
But it brought you back.
It brought me back.
Guys, if you're not her first choice and she already has a man who has put that imprint on her, you might as well just focus on yourself, King, because you will either compete with that man in the physical or you will compete with a ghost, literally. Out of everybody in this scenario, Will Smith is the most accomplished. Pop, Jada, the kid, everybody. Will Smith is way up here out of everybody in this scenario. And regardless of whether or not he is knocking down women all over the world on the side, because that's what they said. The rumors was back in the day that they had the poly thing going on. And I'm pretty sure Will is not just taking this at home and then going and living the rest of his life just by himself. Nah, he getting it in. I personally believe. But regardless of whether he's doing that or not, it's all about the fact that the main woman, the main one that he married, the one that he gave the championship to, just spits on the title. And I'm going to tell you this, Jada, she lucky Will is as nice as he is, because if Will was another type of dude, if his name wasn't Will Smith but Will Turner, and he was that type of dude, the way she be disrespecting him publicly, constantly, oh, he could have easily been knocking her between the wash and the dryer. Sort of like the couple in this video by today's sponsor, Kuda Kwashe. Check out his new song, In Those Eyes.
It hurts me knowing that you've been through it. He ain't treat you right knowing you were into it. It's a thing of beauty, seeing those brighter eyes. You didn't deserve the pain, believing those type of guys. I feel your pain and trauma in between rocking rose-colored glasses. Beautiful as ever, and you rose above the ashes with peace and love. Is the crown for you, lady, and through the storm still you hold it down for your babies. I try hard not to judge, we all make mistakes. At the least, your home should be the safest space. He should at least treat you better for the baby's sake. He was dead wrong, there's no great debate. I just happen to understand that if you give me the honor and privilege to be your man, I protect you and the kids from harm. I will not be why you make a beeline for the alarm.
Baby, I can see it in the look in your eyes that you've been through the fire. You ain't gotta hide when I'm by your side. Hey, hold your head up high. You're ride or die like you oughta, and you still stay fly like you oughta. Hey, still you rise like you oughta. I'ma always say I just wanna.
What happened? You fell in love, took a leap of faith. Since you're here with me today, it means you made your sweet escape.
You got music, you got a business, you got a product or service, but you're not making enough money off of it because you don't have enough exposure. DM or email me right now to get promoted on my platforms. I have 850,000 subscribers on YouTube. I have 460,000 followers on Instagram. I have the following that you want to get seen in front of. I was able to increase the sales of this Amazon book off of a YouTube sponsorship with just 30,000 views. And I was able to give this artist 15,000 views with the Instagram repost in less than 24 hours. So DM or email me at bookingcranklucas@gmail.com right now to get more exposure and more money for your business.